Quick review on the Netflix Mr. McMahon documentary. Is it worth the watch? If you don't know, Vince McMahon is the guy who took over WWE wrestling and built it up through WrestleMania from the 80s until now, making it one of the biggest entertainment forms in all of the world, making it global. WrestleManias sold out stadiums and arenas, making giant superstars from Hulk Hogan to the Ultimate Warrior to Stone Cold to John Cena to Roman Reigns. He's done all that, but with that, there is a lot of scandal, a lot of backstage stuff, a lot of court cases that he's been involved in. And this documentary taps into a lot of that. If you're a wrestling fan, I think this documentary can be a skip for you. Nothing is new in this documentary. They talk about the rise of WrestleMania and Vince McMahon. They get into the Attitude Era and WCW and the NWO and Vince buying WCW, ruthless aggression into now and WrestleMania. And they sprinkle in kind of scandals throughout. But if you're a wrestling fan, you know 90% of this stuff. So I think it's a skip. If you're a strictly Netflix documentary watcher, I think it can be entertaining for you. Not only do you get this rise of this global entertainment brand, but then you get some stuff with scandals and steroids and deaths and a lot of settlements that aren't made public. But I do think that there are better places to see more detailed on these things. Dark Side of the Ring has more detailed episodes in terms of their documentary style. WWE puts out their own documentaries if you want to see the rise of WrestleMania, if you want to know more about the Attitude Era or the rise and fall of WCW, Ruthless Aggression. They have those separate documentaries that you can just watch. This Mr. McMahon documentary was a lot of filler and not a whole lot on what we thought it was going to be, and that was surrounding the scandal and the backstage stuff involving Vince McMahon. If you're a documentary watcher, just know that this story isn't complete. The Janelle Grant stuff and the federal case that McMahon is under is still going on, and this Netflix documentary, which the documentary was originally made to tell the life and times of Vince McMahon. Netflix brought it out when it ended because of the Janelle Grant stuff coming out. A lot of the interviews with McMahon, with his family, and other wrestlers were filmed in 2021 before the federal and Janelle Grant stuff came out. You got to take into that effect. Netflix does tell you that. Only the last maybe 20 minutes are talking about Janelle Grant and the federal case, but it's still happening, so the story isn't finished. To me, the most interesting part was the scandal stuff in episode 2. But again, you can watch Dark Side of the Ring to get more details on all those stories and what actually happened in those moments from the 80s and 90s. This documentary really paints McMahon as a one genius, two insane businessman that will put his business over everything, including his family, who are a lot involved in episode 5, and a lot of scandals and settlements that goes on almost through every episode. If you're a wrestling fan, I would say it's probably skippable. There's other stuff out there that you can find to get into it more. If you're strictly a Netflix documentary watcher, I think it's worth the watch. I'll give it probably a 7 out of 10 for that grouping of people because the story isn't finished. We're still waiting on a lot of stuff to happen. If you're a wrestling fan, I'll probably give it like a 4 out of 10. Let me know what you think. Put it in the comments.